So again, we're going to, inshallah ta'ala, tour Surah al-Qalam that we covered the last quarter. So this surah, you can roughly divide it into 4 quarters. Inshallah, we covered the last quarter. Today we're going to start with the first quarter. And it is a very, very, very early Makki surah. Very, very early Makki surah. It's so early that some scholars say that this was probably the second or the third or the fourth surah, something like that. It has it's dense full of lessons and morals, inshallah ta'ala. So today, let's see how much we can cover. But this is just the first quarter, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. So the surah starts with Noon, the letter Noon. And of course, nobody knows the meaning of it. But you could allude that toward the end, if you guys remember the story of Yunus alayhi salam. I remember I told you the first story. The first prophet being told to the prophet was likely Yunus alayhi salam. This starts with Noon. Yunus alayhi salam's other name is also the Noon, the one of the Noon, and this starts with Noon, wallahu a'lam. It might be an indication. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes 2 qasams, wal-qalam, and He swears by the pen, وَمَا يَسْطُرُونَ, and what they are writing, okay, what they are inscribing. Satar, means lines, so what you write on the lines. And the scholars say, and this is very, very, very appropriate in many senses, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about 3 different types of pens. One is the pen with which our fate and the destiny of this whole universe is written down. Which is where? Lawh al-Mahfuz, right? The protected tablet. This is the protected tablet, Lawh al-Mahfuz. Before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created anything, He created the pen, and He told the pen to write from now until the end of time, and the pen wrote down on the sacred tablet, on the protected tablet, Lawh al-Mahfuz. The second kind of pen is the pen that the angels write with. Our book of deeds, right, are being written, our records are being written. And the third type of pen, which is also being alluded to in this surah, is the pen that human beings are writing with. There's so much more can be said. Long story short, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, after Iqra, which was recite and read, right? Very quickly thereafter, and even in Iqra, وَعَلَّمَ بِالْقَلَمِ, right? And He taught with the pen. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again magnifying the importance of writing. The importance of writing. Extremely important, not just speaking, but writing. We'll move on. This surah was primarily revealed because when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started to preach, he had personal attacks against him. People wanted to discredit him. They were calling him names, and this surah came to lift him up. Again, the same theme of the early Makki surah. Rasulullah ﷺ was not as strong as he was later on. So in the beginning, those names, name calling, and the things that he used to say used to hurt him a lot. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again and again and again in the Makki surah comes to lift him up. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala immediately lifts him up by swearing by the writer. And swearing by the angels who are writing, the people who are writing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is writing the decree. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by that and says, مَا أَنْتَ بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ مَجْنُونَ. Okay? Be majnoon. You, by the grace of the Almighty, but by the grace of your Lord, you are not majnoon. You don't have jinn. You don't have, majnoon means, jinnah means something that is hidden. Majnoon means someone who has something in his head that's not quite right. Something is wrong. Roughly, crudely speaking, we transfer that as crazy, but that could be anything. The people used to call him, something's wrong with his head. What he's saying makes no sense to us. He's telling us to do X, Y, Z. We don't want to do that. We don't want to abandon our ways. All of these words that he's trying to utter
Where are they coming from? He must be crazy. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, you are not crazy. ما أنت بنعمة ربك بمجنون وإن لك لأجرا غير ممنون. And for you is a reward that is never ending. It is a never ending reward. Because your iman is strong, you're trying to follow the path, you're trying to follow the mission. Every single one of us who does something good for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the reward we get, but who also gets the reward for that? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His reward is never ending, never ending. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something which is extremely famous. You have all heard it. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. And you are upon the best character. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him, you're not crazy. You, in fact, are the complete opposite. Not only are you have a strong iman and a strong intellect, because everything that you're doing is giving you a reward, you not only have that, but you have the best character. And all three of these qualities is what makes Rasulullah ﷺ exceptional. What are the three qualities? He is not crazy, which the opposite of that is what? He has high intellect. Rasulullah ﷺ has a high intellect. He has great iman because he's continuously earning ajr, and he has the highest character. So, many of us possess 2 out of the 3 of these things, but Rasulullah ﷺ possessed all these 3 things. After this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now giving them courage. Again, فَسَتُبْصِرُ وَيُبْصِرُونَ. You will see, and they will see. بِأَيِّكُمُ الْمَفْتُونَ. Which one of you has a devil with him? They used to say Rasulullah ﷺ is not only majnoon, he is maftoon. He has a devil, he has a jinn with him that is telling him all these words. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being sarcastic again in the Quran, in the style of the Quran. You will see and they will see, or he will see, which one of you actually has a devil with him. بِأَيِّكُمُ الْمَفْتُونَ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ ضَلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who knows who from among you is, who has gone astray, and who actually is the right guided one. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indirectly is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are on the right path and they are the ones who are astray. By the way, completely out of context, if you take this ayah, it is still a very, very powerful ayah, because we should never ever judge somebody. Because we always should think it is Allah that knows whether someone is guided or misguided. You can't judge. You can try to correct what you believe is right or wrong, but it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is the ultimate judge. We are never supposed to cast final judgments on anyone. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ ضَلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ فَلَا تُطِعِ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him, do not follow those who are constantly denying goodness, constantly denying the khair that's coming to them, constantly denying the Quran, constantly denying the Day of Judgment, constantly denying the worship, and all. It has lots of meanings. Mukazzimi, those who are constantly denying, do not follow them. Why? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say do not follow them? You might be thinking, oh, it's obvious, we shouldn't follow them. No, it's not, because they were powerful. They had wealth, they had money, they had authority, they had respect. Correct? Don't we want to follow people who have authority and respect and power and influence? We do. We want to be like them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him, no, do not follow them. فَلَا تُطِعِ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ وَدُّوا لَوْ تُدْهِنُوا فَيُدْهِنُونَ. They want you to give a little, and then they will bend a little for you. Meaning, if you what they used to negotiate with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can worship Allah 2 days a week, and we will worship, and then you will worship our idols 3 days a week or whatever, and then we will do the same. So they used to make a deal. So if you give a little, we'll give a little. They used to make a deal with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They would love that you make a deal with them. وَدُّوا لَوْ تُدْهِنُوا فَيُدْهِنُونَ وَلَا تُطِعْ كُلَّ حَلَّافٍ مَهِينٍ. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, talking about the best characteristics of Rasulullah, now is introducing us to the worst characteristics that a human being shall have in this image of the kazzab, the one who is constantly denying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تُطِعْ كُلَّ حَلَّافٍ مَهِينٍ, and do not follow the one who is halaf, constantly swearing, Allah, I will do this, oh Allah, this is true, oh Allah, I will do that for you tomorrow, or Allah, this is what the fact is, whatever. They swear in vain. They don't really mean it. And those people who swear a lot, they're trying to hide something. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're halaf. They do the halaf all the time. وَلَا تُطِعْ كُلَّ حَلَّافٍ مَهِينٍ. Maheen meaning they are worthless. If you take the trash out, and when some of the water maybe from the trash seeps out, or say something, if there's a hole in the trash bag, that filth water, you would call something like that maheen. That's what it means. It's like that worthless. وَلَا تُطِعْ كُلَّ حَلَّافٍ مَهِينٍ, meaning every halaf that he has, he is maheen. Everything that emanates from him is worthless. Hammad, he's a hammad. Hammad al-Masha'in bin-Namim. He's a hammad. He's scornful. He scorns at people. He makes faces. He puts them down with speech. He has a sharp tongue. He ridicules them, etc., etc. This is hammad. Anyone who does that, by the way, we all know the surah وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ. Humaza is the person who's the hammad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, curse be on him. Or some scholars say Wayl, which is the worst place in Jahannam, is Wayl. And that belongs to the hammams, those who put people down, whether with tongue or their action, or they're winking at people. Look at this guy, isn't he? Hammam. Masha'in bin Namim. He is walking around causing discord between people. He is doing namima. Namima is what? So ghiba, we all know ghiba, right? When you backbite somebody with truth, okay? Behind somebody's back, right? That is haram too. It's like eating the flesh of your dead brother, right? Namima is scandal, is slandering somebody, talking about somebody even in front of them or behind them, which is not true. That is namima. That is also haram, of course. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing this person. He is not only hammad, he is also walking around causing fasad and spreading lies. Indirectly, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is alluding to is this is what was happening to Rasulullah. People were being hammaz to him. They were being crude and cruel to him, scornful to him. And then they were spreading lies against him. He's crazy. He's got a jinn with him. He wrote this on his own, or he got this from somewhere else, etc., etc., etc. Hammad Masha'in bin Namim, manna'il lil khayr. They are preventing good from happening, preventing Quran being recited to others. Very quick, easy thing to assign here. But there's other things. For example, Rasulullah, if he has goodness, this person is not highlighting the goodness of Rasulullah. He's actually not talking. He's forbidding people. Don't go talk to him. Don't get this message. He's crazy. He's got a devil with him. Don't talk to him. He has a bad character, and he's gonna lead you astray, etc., etc. So he is manna'il lil khayr. And also we know those people who want to, don't give charity. oh no, don't be nice to this guy. He deserves to be being bad to. You should just be bad to this person. Anytime anybody wants to do something good, oh look, this person is showing off. This is what he's trying to do. Manna'il lil khayr. They are preventing good from happening. Mu'tad. They are mu'tadin athim. They are transgressing bounds. There are two bounds. One is your own personal boundary for your own brand image, your personal image, right? You want to be looked at by other people as kind, humble, hardworking, somebody who wants to give, etc. Somebody who controls his anger, somebody who has a lot of patience, etc., etc. That's your brand, right? That's your boundary around you. Mu'tad is someone who doesn't care. He goes beyond bounds. He doesn't care if he's impatient. He doesn't care how people call him impatient. I have authority. I have seniority. I don't need his praise. They go beyond their own personal bounds. Then, Mu'tad is also a person who, the outer circle, which is going beyond bounds on others, attacking others, stealing from others, disparaging them, ridiculing them, taking from them what doesn't belong to them, right? This is the other, for example, they will cause fasad, cause corruption, bomb, eradicate, genocide. They go way out. Mu'tad, athim. They're not just committing sins that are trivial. They're constantly sinful. Athim. Mu'tadin athim. Utul. They are cruel. It's very difficult to talk to this person. Utullin. Ba'da dhalika zanim. And on top of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying they're pretentious. They're pretending to belong to such and such family, etc., etc. I'm almost done. Barakallahu fikum. Utullin ba'da dhalika zanim. They pretended to have a high lineage. They pretend to have authority, even though they might not. They pretend to have connections that they may not have. Utullin ba'da dhalika zanim. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can continue, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends this quarter with سَنَتِمُهُ عَلَى الْخُرْطُومِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will brand such people on the Day of Judgment on their noses, which means everyone will know this person, this is a wretched, bad character person. Rasulullah, if you don't remember anything I said, just remember this. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I have been sent as a prophet for nothing except to perfect human character. To perfect human character. This is the core of Islam. It is your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and relationship with the makhluk. And so much can be said about the akhlaq, where your relationship with the makhluk is called your khuluq, your akhlaq. That is what our key priority should be. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.